Check, check. Hello. Mm-hmm. All right, let's give this a shot. Let's jump straight in here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I made it from CES. I'm here. I was not captured by robots or rogue creators wantingly trying to get me to, I don't know, field test new appsages. Hi there. Hey, look at that. Ocean Park. What's going on? Good to see you. This bullshit is too much. I'm heartbroken at what happened. Yeah, I am too. And by what happened, I mean the election. I have said that. I got to tell you, this is not surprising at all, and I am reserving my anger by and large for people who phoned in the last election because this was completely foreseeable. And anybody who's like, I don't know, both sides do it because there is no way in hell that Harris would have ordered this crap. Just going to leave it there. And then I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that no Republican is ever in charge of law enforcement ever again. So, hi. And I'm very thirsty. Yes, there was a lot of cool stuff at CES. I wish I could have stayed longer. But the familial issue that I spoke of before took precedent. We're a family first kind of crowd over here. So okay, let's just jump straight in because I have a lot to cover and I know I'm not going to make it through anywhere near all of it. Let me start off first with something I didn't think I would necessarily cover right away. Hit the like, share the show, etc., etc., etc. It's Hal Sparks Megaworldwiide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. You being the greatest chat room in the history of live streams. Hello. Here our goal is to elect people that don't let crap like this happen. No Glenn Beck today. You'll be happy to know. But the next worst thing, I gotta admit, I wouldn't say I was wrong in this situation. I wouldn't say I was wrong, but I will say that I was probably I allowed too much impact from other people's read on a circumstance, and I did not trust my own gut on this one. And it was primarily that J.D. Vance came out and along Caroline Leavitt kind of spoke for an hour and change from the podium, almost in this like trial balloon for 2028 seemed to be the thing. And I'll show you what I mean. And after watching some of it, I can only think that if somebody did do that on purpose, their intent was to sabotage him and make the chances of him ever becoming president even more impossible than they already were. Because, I mean, the dweeb energy is high with this one. Let me show you just a little piece of this. This is, if I may, Vance warns European leaders, take Trump seriously on Greenland. This is how much of a waste of fucking time this entire press conference was. he's out there, and also I think the only reason he did this because it was a guarantee the Epstein files wouldn't come up. They were like literally, Trump had to set so many things in the world on fire just to guarantee Vance that he wouldn't have to answer an Epstein question before he would do this. We'll see what he says about taking Europe, or that Europe should take Trump seriously.
Concerning Venezuela, how would you assure the Caribbean region that they will remain a zone of peace? Because some member states in the region are concerned.
Well, look, the president had a very productive phone call with the president of Colombia yesterday, and
God damn. I'm blown away with just the dweebiness. It's painful.
Continue to talk at all levels of government with a number of our friends in the Caribbean region.
What? Caroline Leavitt gives off more alpha male energy than he does.
I actually think this is really good for peace in the Caribbean, because when you take away a major source of illegal cartel revenue, which is the cocaine trade, the fentanyl trade, other sources of illicit revenue,
yes, piracy and kidnapping goes up. Oh, that's not what you meant?
Actually remove the power of one of the main destabilizing forces in Latin America and in the Caribbean. I really do think, look, we say it all the time, this is the president of peace.
We say it all the time, so that's how you know it's not true. Again, this goes to that whole thing about Trump being one of the greatest salesmen ever. You know, you don't have to be a great salesman if your product is awesome. You really only have to be the world's greatest salesman is if you're a fraud, if you're a bullshit artist, and you certainly don't have to say he's the prince of the peace president or the prince of peace all the time. If he is, other people would say it for you. Good Lord.
One of the ways that you establish peace in your own hemisphere is to make it clear that the president of peace, one of the ways that you establish peace in your own hemisphere
is war. I'm sorry. That's what he means.
Is to make it clear that the United States is going to be respected, that the United States is willing to take power away from criminal cartel organizations and give it to legitimate governments. That's how we see the future of the Western Hemisphere.
Sorry, there is no legitimate government in Venezuela. We don't recognize it. Trump says especially because we're running it. Marco Rubio is the de facto man who would be king.
And we think it's going to be much more peaceful than it was certainly under Joe Biden. I'll take one more question. Go ahead.
The Caribbean wasn't at war. What the fuck are you talking about?
Vice President, thank you. On Greenland, do you have a message for European leaders? Many in Europe reject the idea that the island could be for sale.
Well, first of all, Secretary Rubio, I believe, is meeting with the leaders of Denmark and Greenland next week, I want to say it is, but maybe it's the week after that. We'll continue to deliver some of these messages in private, some of them...
Yes, and how do you say enjoy the wedgie in Danish?
In public, but I
think it involves some sort of fruit filling.
That's my advice to European leaders and anybody else would be to take the President of the United States seriously. What has he...
Yeah, most of the time they do, just not Trump.
...said about Greenland? Set to the side the crazy overreactions that I've seen from the press and from certain people in Europe. What has the President said? Number one, Greenland is really important, not just to America's missile defense, but to the world's missile defense.
No, that's not what he said at all. He said it was important to national security and world security. He wasn't as specific as saying missile defense. So if the idea is that we need to put a fucking anti-nuclear missile, an ABS system there, I think they'd let us. We just have to fucking rent the ground.
Number two,
after the first lie,
know that there are hostile adversaries that have shown a lot of interest in that particular territory, that particular slice of the world. So what
besides Trump,
we're asking our European friends to do is to take the security of that landmass more seriously, because if they're not, the United States is going to have to do something about it. What that is...
Sorry, if they don't protect it from the Russians, we will? Is that it? What the fuck?
I'll leave that to the president as we continue to engage in diplomacy with our European friends and everybody on this particular topic. And again, thank you all for listening. Thanks for taking questions. And I just ask you, look.
Thanks for taking questions. they're giving the you take the question, they give the questions, they have the questions. You're not. Do you have some questions for us? You seem confused.
This is politics, and often Republicans and get in arguments with the press about things, and I understand that. I think it's really irresponsible.
No, you argue with reality, and a lot of times reporters are collateral damage. You don't argue with reporters. You argue with your own reflection being shown to you.
For you guys to go out there and imply or tell the American people that a guy who defended himself from being rammed by an automobile is guilty of murder. Be a little bit more careful. We're going to talk about toning down the temperature, which I know the president wants to do, and I certainly want to do.
Yes, that one of Trump's defining characteristics is toning down rhetoric. What the fuck are you talking about?
The ways we tone down the temperature is to have a media that tells the truth. I encourage you all to do that. God bless you.
Jesus. Just bail out. And by the way, the reason he's out there is to sort of like dunk on this person. I got to say, there's a lot of parallels between them, the way they're dealing with the shooting in Minneapolis and how they handled school shootings by setting up like, NRA gun shows within a 6-block radius of where the shooting took place. Just to remind everybody, #GunsAwesome. Yeah, with the whole thing without ever mentioning or being asked a question, I don't think, about Epstein, insofar as I know. If he did, let me know. I'd love to cover that clip of it. Now, I'm gonna jump into something right now because this isn't really a clip per se. This is just the intro to a show, so it should kind of give us a generalized idea of the tenor, the tone, the facts, the keen, the cunning, the instinct of this man. And this is Don Jr., who is by and large the one that they are is fueling the background on a lot of these Latin America attacks, and of course the pardoning of the former Honduran president. This is all Don Jr. the Don Jr. Peter Thiel Vance wing. And then he's got this kind of like sound-alike copycat version of Stranglehold playing for the title of his show.
Hold on.
And here comes all the energy. The energy's gonna hit you. Everybody hang on tight. Here comes Don Jr. It's gonna blow you over. Get ready.
Hey guys, welcome to another huge episode of Triggered. Great to be with all of you today. A woman tried to run over
this is what cocaine does to your hard palate.
federal law enforcement officers in Minneapolis yesterday. She weaponized her vehicle against an ICE agent. And now, Democrats from Tim Walz to the Minneapolis mayor are calling it murder. They're calling it terrorism. But there's new video, and it tells a much different story. Meanwhile, we have more on the Somali fraud scandal. But
And he does mean moron.
Minnesota AG, Democrat bigwig Keith Ellison now says it's not a serious matter. Shocked to hear that, guys. So stay tuned for all of it.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
My father just announced he's going to ban large institutional investors from buying up single-family homes. We've got a brand new food pyramid from our
Communism.
K Jr. that actually tells Americans to eat real food. And Secretary Rubio just pulled us out of 66 anti-American international organizations. So, pretty solid week, I'd say.
Yeah, most of them have to do with feeding children, I'm guessing, because you guys consider that anti-American.
Like I said, guys, so
How are these kids going to learn anything if they're not starving?
much to cover. Let's get into all of it.
I was the pause is very pregnant.
Guys, Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing so you never miss one of these major episodes. If you do miss the show here,
Yeah, I wouldn't call this a podcast either. I would call this a major episode. The president's fucking kid is having a major episode.
on Rumble, go over to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, where you can listen anytime. If your friends get their podcast,
Where I can what?
so you never miss one of these major. Said guys, so much to cover. Let's get into all of it. Guys, make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing so you never miss one of these major episodes. If you do miss the show here on Rumble, go over to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, where you can listen anytime. If your friends get their podcast that way, let them know about it. Have them check it out there. We just got to get this in front of as many people as possible.
Because it's how he launders money.
For all of the top headlines that we cover here on the show, go over to my news app, MXM News, like minute by minute, MXM, where you can get the mainstream news without the mainstream bias.
You mean M&M News?
And of course, guys, don't forget about our brave sponsors for having the guts to support this program.
Brave? What, are they afraid the administration's going to come down on them?
And also, guys, don't forget about the Birch Gold Group, where you can...
Buy gold, because my father is shitting the dollar, and then Polymarket, we can rig it. Okay, Noam says, woman killed, night shooting, stalking, and impeding agents all day. Hold on, this is the take I want. Oh, he's going to play this part. Hold on. Dems Russia attack. This is okay. He's gonna play Noam's thing. Blah blah blah. The part I want him. Well, I don't know. Even I'm not even looking for his coverage of anything. Where is it? Guys. Somali cash exodus from Minneapolis exponentially larger than other airports. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so the money being taken out of Minneapolis by Somalis that ends up in Africa and Nigeria and Somalia and other places and blah, blah, blah. Okay. One of the other factors of this they don't like to talk about is the fact that there was as much corruption from similar groups in Ohio, but Trump likes Ohio, so they're not talking about it at all. And that's why this exponentially larger than other airports, because in Ohio they use the banks.
Security officials told Just the News that nearly $700 million in cash was flagged by TSA at the Minneapolis airport over the last 2 years. $700 million being carried out in luggage by couriers, usually headed to Dubai through Amsterdam. Think about that number.
Mm-hmm. And then think about how much time Trump's friends spend in Dubai.
70% of $1 billion cash leaving Minneapolis airport.
70% of $1 billion. Okay.
Was 99% larger than the cash leaving John F. Kennedy in New York City? How is that possible? 99% larger than...
Because there are more mechanisms for getting money out of New York than there are in Minnesota.
One of the biggest
period.
airports anywhere in the world? Bigger than JFK, Atlanta, Dallas, Fort Worth airports out of Minneapolis? This was basically function.
Because they don't. You're just telling me what they flagged. That doesn't mean that's how much money went through there.
As a foreign ATM machine, siphoning American taxpayer dollars out of the country. And what was the Biden administration doing about it? You guessed it, folks. Absolutely.
All right. The word "folks" is rough.
ATM machine, siphoning American taxpayer dollars out of the country. And what was the Biden administration?
You got it, folks.
Doing about it? You guessed it, folks.
You guessed it, folks.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, I mean, I gotta think that they were clearly doing something. Let's see. Hold on. This would be, and also, it's well, we'll see. Okay, because apparently you weren't either. This was only after the discovery of the fraud in the city that you stopped anything at the airports, right? Sean Duffy was letting stuff go through just as much. Anyways, we'll check on some of this stuff later. I just wanted to dip into his podcast to see if it was still as exciting and as riveting as we've always come to enjoy. Now, let's go to the Greenland thing. So Matt Walsh had a video up that was kind of like, what the fuck are we doing with Venezuela? Why are we doing empire again? And then he took it down and put this one up. And the thing is Greenland about to be the 51st state? Nope. It would have to be the 52nd state because Venezuela is the 51st state now. We run it. Marco Rubio is the governor / the head of USAID and the State Department and 3 other agencies.
And yes, there were people living in some of the areas that they colonized, and they got into fights with those people, and they kicked them out, and they conquered the land.
When did that ever happen?
So to now sound
Anywhere.
so scandalized by the very idea of it. Okay, Trump's expansionist ambitions continue, and I say that approvingly, very approvingly.
Of course you do. What are you going to do? Disagree with Trump? And besides, you have to agree with him on this because it gets you out of having to talk about the Epstein files like you never do.
But I use the word expansionist not as a dirty word, unlike how many people use it. The BBC reports U.S. President Donald Trump has been discussing a range of options to acquire Greenland.
Wait, you're citing the BBC?
Including using the military, the White House said. The White House told the BBC that acquiring Greenland, a semi-autonomous region of fellow NATO member Denmark, was a national security priority.
Shit. Is Matt Walsh's show like Ben Shapiro with a beard? Is it just like dude in a fishing lodge reading from his laptop?
Statement comes after European leaders issued a joint statement rallying behind Denmark.
Get on with it.
Which has been pushing back against Trump's ambitions for the Arctic. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio also told lawmakers at a classified briefing on Capitol Hill on Monday that the Trump administration did not plan to invade Greenland, but he mentioned instead buying the island from Denmark. So that's what Rubio was talking about, is buying it. And here is Trump.
Which is exactly how you raise the price if you ever planned on doing it. Just by mentioning you might want to do it, automatically the price triples. Nice. It's art of the deal there.
Air Force One talking about it.
I will say this about Greenland. We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland.
They're just all over the land. They're just scattered. What was there a tsunami?
From the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you. You know what Denmark did recently to boost up security in Greenland? They added one more dog sled. It's true.
Sir,
they thought that was a great move.
What would the justification be for a claim to Greenland? What would the justification?
Oh, I don't want to talk about Greenland now.
What? What did he, wait a minute. Was he actually talking about Venezuela when he mentioned the dog sled?
I just say this. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security.
And now, somebody told me that if I say I'm doing something for national security reasons, I think they're on the Supreme Court, that I can just go ahead and do it and nobody can stop me.
The European Union needs us to have it, and they know that.
Yes, clearly, if we can acquire Greenland, we should. There's almost no downside. It is that clear. And
well, there's obviously a downside because of what we'll have to go through to actually get it.
Trump focuses on the national defense advantages, which are very real. Greenland is a crucial staging ground for missile defense, also space surveillance. But there are also the natural resources, which are largely untapped, oil and gas, uranium, rare earth elements, minerals, fresh water. Greenland holds like 5 to 10% of the fresh water on Earth. So lots of resources. And
yeah, it's called snow.
Then there are the economic
hey, now do the North fucking Pole.
Benefits beyond the resource, namely control over Arctic shipping lanes, very substantial. There's the strategic benefit.
What do you mean control? We have that anyways.
Which are very clear, totally undeniable. And
so hold on. As far as the Arctic shipping lanes thing, what do they think we're going to cut off? Like the trade between Russia and Canada?
The people who laugh it off just don't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay?
Oh, I'm not laughing it off. I think it's deadly serious and incredibly fucking stupid. And it sounds very Putin-esque. It sounds like Hitler in fucking Poland is what it sounds like.
Which is fine. I mean, not knowing much about Greenland is not a character flaw. Most people don't know anything about it. That's fine. You can admit that. When the topic first came up of acquiring Greenland, the vast majority of people hear that as like, I don't know anything about Greenland.
Okay, that's him saying he didn't know anything about Greenland until he got his talking points from the White House.
And yet everyone thinks they have to have an opinion about it right away.
Well, the president is threatening to invade a foreign country's territory. We're a democracy with a representative government. So, yeah, we kind of give a shit about these things.
And the opinion of a lot of people is, well, we shouldn't do that.
Right, we shouldn't.
We don't need Greenland. That's ridiculous. Oh, really? Why? Why shouldn't we do it? Why?
Because we can rent that land from them or partner with them without having to take over their fucking country.
Is it ridiculous? I mean, because it's Greenland.
Yeah, that's not what anybody's saying.
You have no clue what you're talking about. None, and you know it. And I don't pretend
Here comes the talking point.
to be a Greenland expert myself. I'm not. But the little bit I've looked into it, I see,
A little bit.
basically, the Trump administration talks about acquiring Greenland. They present their case. So I listen to the case, and then I go, okay, well, if that makes sense.
So you listen to the talking points that the White House gave you.
It's like if all those, you're
like everybody else at the Daily Wire.
You're laying out like obvious strategic and economic benefits of acquiring Greenland. I'll go look into it myself. It's like, yes, it appears to check out.
Hey, well, then why stop at fucking Greenland? Let me tell you, the land in Central Europe is very fertile and full of all kinds of natural resources. What the fuck are you talking about? Why don't we just put a flag in the middle of the ocean and call it ours?
But I also think there's another value
Sorry, I don't want to give them ideas. I beg your pardon.
Greenland holds. There's another value in general to Trump's expansionism. And I talked about this last year when they first started talking about Greenland and they were talking about Panama and all of that. And I haven't heard very many other people talk about this aspect of it. I think I saw a post from Mike Cernovich, I think, who posted something on X about it. But not very many other people are.
Oh, you mean Mike Cernovich, the man who's afraid to even go to the grocery store without bodyguards because he says his final goodbyes to his family anytime he goes to use a porta potty because he's convinced that there's a liberal hoax or a liberal conspiracy to kill him.
Tapping into this, which is the intangible value. And I understand that from a political perspective, if you're the Secretary of State or the President of the United States, you're probably not going to list this as one of the reasons. But there is also the intangible value that is very real of the life, the hope, the excitement that you bring to a nation and to a people by expanding.
Oh my God. Yeah. Why, that's the kind of excitement you can't bring by, I don't know, lowering prices or making homes affordable or releasing the Epstein files. That's not the kind of excitement we're looking for. We want the kind, we like that new pussy aspect of foreign policy. That's right. Good God. Sorry, you're so desperate for motivation that you need to invade a fucking country? That's what'll give you a fucking America boner? Dude, if that's what it takes, I'd see a doctor. Holy shit. The Germans were very excited about the like Sudetenland. Good God. Okay, real quick. I want to is this okay, it's up here. I don't know why sometimes Safari picks one of the windows to open, and it just won't. I'm clearly using an open browser window, and when I click a link, it should go to that one, and it doesn't. It goes to some random page. Anyways, that's not your problem. That's my problem. You're watching Hal Sparks Megaworldwiide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Now, look, I have a confession to make, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that feels this way as well. Personally,
I like wood.
no, that's not what I was going to say. Personally,
Deeper and longer.
I like knowing when things are going to happen. Like I really don't like that verse in Matthew. No, that nobody's going to know when the end times come, because I really got to know. I'm one of those people who would like sneak out of bed the night before Armageddon and shake all the boxes under the tree just to see what's in them. And but luckily, we've got a man on the beat chat. By the way, hit the like, share the show, all that kind of stuff. It helps. Share clips of the show. That helps as well. If you're on Twitch, where's my Twitch people out? You guys can share clips from there as well, which is great. So Tuckums. We got some great Tuckums stuff today. Oh boy. But apparently, now, obviously, this one, he worked very hard on this thumbnail. There's not much, I would add to it. But the title of it is Tucker, World War is Coming Soon. Okay, I don't know where he's been the last few years, but and currently now, because apparently Trump is declaring war on anybody who's got some stuff he likes. It's the great coveting wars of the 2020s. This is but it's coming soon, and maybe he knows when. Maybe it's a vague soon. I mean, obviously, soon is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Let's find out.
The president announced that he is hiking the Pentagon budget from $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion.
Because he's the president of peace, just like J.D. Vance said, and the calling it the Department of Defense and then changing it to the Department of War was just kind of sort of a cosmetic change that cost $500 billion.
Announced that. Why?
Because he's a warmongering, small-dicked asshole who desperately wants fear because he knows he'll never be respected because he secretly hates himself, kind of like you do.
Well, it's hard to know without asking him. He'll explain. But big picture, obviously, that's the kind of budget that a country that anticipates a global or regional war has for its...
Or if it's planning on taking over a lot of other little countries. They're not looking for a regional war. They're literally, this is the kind of, think of this as invasion and occupation money.
Military. There's no other reason to do that. That's not a...
Yes, there is invasion and occupation. If you're gonna run Venezuela for 18 months to forever, it's going to cost something, and especially going to have to do it with a military tribunal kind of a government that you effectively run yourself, I guess.
Peacekeeping budget. That's a war budget. A big...
Yeah, we know. That's why they shut down the Department of Peace and renamed the Department of Defense the Department of War. For some of us, it was a red flag.
War budget. So I think it's fair to expect, and all the signs suggest, that we're going to have a big war soon.
Oh, I didn't realize this is about stock tips.
A big war soon. I think.
Big war soon. Exciting war. Big, sexy, a fluffy war.
Everyone expects that to happen. Hope it doesn't happen, but obviously we're moving in that direction toward it.
Also, this is not a matter of hope. It seems like the president is planning one. Asshole. Or several little ones, which I think is really what it is.
World War. Sorry. So how do you position yourself for that?
Yes. What kind of investments do you need to make right now where you could come out on the upside of a world war?
Well, you look at a map.
And you go, do I live close to a defense contractor? And are they trading publicly?
And you ask the most basic questions.
Is my town a target? Should I move further out into the fucking woods?
What areas do I want to control? Where are the trade routes? Who's got the resources?
Oh, I see. He meant like in terms of your area. I didn't, not whether you live right next to a NORAD in fucking Montana and you're like, probably high on the nuke chart.
Who do I share a language with? Who do I share a common history with?
And immediately you want to stiff arm those people, the Europeans, for example. You want to say, no, thank you. Normally, perfect alliance, but please step aside. I don't need anybody who understands what I'm about to do.
Who do I share a civilization with. And you
in your case, I'm fairly certain they lost in 1940.
proceed on that basis, and you try and shore up your team, the Allies, against the other team, the Axis or whatever. But you think soberly about how the world is going to cleave once this begins. And
yes, to each other's bosoms.
if you were to do that for about, 25 or 30 seconds, you would arrive at the most obvious conclusion of all, which is
we don't need anybody. That's what all the money's for. Oh, sorry.
the United States has to have a relationship with Russia in order.
Okay, that I got to tell you, I don't get surprised often, but what? What the fuck? We don't share anything with them at all. We're gonna cleave to Russia? What? You do realize, I don't know, fucking Canada? Like, they're Russia. Okay. I mean, look, I understand Trump would do that. What? This is a little on the nose. Good God.
Survive anything like that. And the reason is really simple.
Because they pay you to say this?
Scale and resources. Russia is the largest country in the world.
Right, and most of the land is permafrost around the year. You can't farm it. There's nothing in it but oil. We already have an oil glut. They don't make anything worthwhile. Their rare earth minerals are few and far between, rarer than most. The biggest thing they have to offer the world right now, no shit, is fertilizer.
It has the most resources in the world. That
not even close to true at all. I mean, they don't even. What the fuck? Are you just counting shit that's frozen and will eventually become unfrozen if the earth becomes unlivable?
It means energy, oil and gas. It means all kinds of minerals. It means gold.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in Africa too, and you could just partner with countries down there, and those people tend to actually smile. I don't know. Russians tend to be averse to that.
And in a world where the U.S. dollar is probably not going to be as powerful as it once was, already declining in value, massive incentive for other countries to get off the dollar to trade in energy in other
Sorry, you want us to join BRICS?
Currencies?
All right, this is just fucking Looney Tunes. This is, I don't even, like, this has to be a paid script, right? For real. They had to have sent him this and said, translate it however you like. Put it in your own words, Tuckums.
You need to think about gold.
Why? Okay, shit. Is this motherfucker selling gold? Is this going to go into a gold ad? Where is it? Where is he bringing some dude on to talk about there's something flashes on the screen. It's going to be birch gold or some shit, isn't it?
People are thinking about gold. And by the way,
yes, I'm thinking about gold right now. It's a pretty rock and it's useless.
If you are wondering whether volatility is coming up, look at silver prices, look at gold prices over the last year.
Right, because people are panicking because of what Trump is doing to the dollar.
Investors understand this is a new time. You need to be aligned with Russia. And the number one thing you can't do, Donald Trump has said this many times over the years, is allow Russia and China to become a bloc. Because if you do, then you are facing off against the majority of the world's population, the biggest population bloc in the world.
Nope.
The biggest landmass in the world.
So what?
And the biggest...
that's like, the biggest landmass in the world is the ocean floor. That, honest to God, like, you want to talk about just a landmass that's particular? The ocean floor is far bigger. And are we worried that I'm concerned that Russia and China will both get together at the bottom of the ocean?
Economy in the world, if you combine those two. So you can't do that. And it's pretty clear that the last administration...
By the way, this shrugging like, of course, kind of, Cenk Uygur kind of course, nonsense is him selling this.
intentionally drove Russia into an alliance with China, which they now have.
No, they don't. China is renaming portions of Russia back to the Chinese name that they had before Russia took those lands. They are openly talking about taking those lands even now. They have a plan for if Putin falls, no matter who takes over, taking over ginormous chunks of Russian territory and leaving them with the big frozen parts.
Be really clear, just to bottom line it. If Donald Trump wants to commit one act as president that will secure him a place in history forever,
it's release the Epstein
as a hero, it would be to bring Russia back into alliance with the United States. Oh.
Okay. Hey, asshole. They never were. Not ever. Not even in the 90s. They just couldn't stop the people of Russia who did want to be in alignment with the West or live normally after what they'd been through from, acting like normal people for a little while. And then they got a fucking bit in their mouth and made them behave. Russia has never been on our side. Ever. Not during the Cold War. Not after they fell.
Russia's bad. Right. Kind of hard to say that after Venezuela.
What? Sorry. Those are bad because he's acting like Putin.
And it's tiresome anyway.
Okay. You know what's tiresome? Why should we give a fuck about Russia when their economy, even with that giant landmass, is smaller than Italy's? What are you talking about? Why isn't this all about we need to build up Italy? Because Italy is a financial powerhouse and our alignment, I guess, with the fucking Catholic Church should be reinforced because of the economic power of Italy, which is in a much smaller area and a lot more friendly to us. That's for fucking sure. How do you have a country as big as Russia and a financial system at smaller than Italy's without being complete fuck-ups?
No, Russia is not bad or good. Russia is essential to the United States.
No, it is not. Not in any way. They don't make anything we need. We don't need anything they have. Even in oil and gas, there's a glut right now, and there will be even more of one as people shift away from fossil fuels to renewables, which is an inevitability. Period. End of story. Even if your buddies, J.D. Vance and that crowd, get their dream of nuclear power, that will still move away from oil and gas.
We cannot survive a global conflict if Russia and China are aligned against us. Period.
Yeah. So, if all of Europe decides to blow us up too, that would be bad. It would be very difficult. It'd be a really tough battle. And if all the African nations all of a sudden had nukes and decided to hold the world hostage, that would be very bad. And also if Dr. Evil didn't get his 1 billion, gazillion, zillion yen, we'd be in deep shit too. While you're making shit up, why not start there?
And it couldn't be more simple, and it shouldn't be very hard at this point.
Honest to God, this is so labored in its stupidity. It has to be a paid remark. This must be whatever was left over in the Tenet media bucket finally made it to Tucker, and he was desperate enough or greedy enough or enough of an asshole sycophant for Vladimir Putin's fucking dick cheese, whatever his, again, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum, whatever it is that's driving him to be this way, but it's not based on reality at all.
To make that deal. There's no reason to pay any attention to the unelected leader of Ukraine. Now, the
he was elected. He was elected.
In the way is not geostrategic. There is no argument for continuing a proxy war, which is what it is, United States versus Russia. We've been at war for 4 years.
Nope.
All of us are pretending we're not. We
Yeah, this is just straight up fucking. What? Sorry, are they just? Is he just translating Solovyev's videos now?
are. There's no reason to continue that on the basis of America's national interest. That is not in our interest, and it never has been in our interest. And by the way, Russia is a Christian country.
Yes, in the same way that Matt Gaetz is a youth pastor.
A remarkable country, a very serious country.
Oh yeah, you decided that after you visited 2 hotels and 1 propaganda spot in Moscow, and never went to one of the outlying towns. It's interesting to me. This is a curious thing. You live in this fucking faux log cabin.
I like wood.
Bullshit.
Deeper and longer.
And try to like show yourself to be this kind of like outdoorsy Midwesterner in this, which is not at all. It's a fucking silver spoon, prep school dickhead, second generation rich kid, never had to work a day in his life, bullshit artist, period. And like, there is no other definition of this dickhead than that. Besides all, like, his obvious religious flailings and his bullshitting, in his new form away from corporate media, which is, I guess, where he was allowed to let his freak flag fly. But for all this kind of like outdoorsy shit that he talks about, and being, cool with guns and going out hunting and all that stuff, never once brought up what the gun rights are in Russia, for example, or what people that live outside the cities live like. What do you think Tucker Carlson knows, for example, about the number of houses in Russia without indoor plumbing? Yeah. 50 to 65% of people in rural Russia don't have indoor plumbing. They have outhouses. In areas where there is permafrost 90% of the fucking year. Yes. The Igbrevnaya Yama. The Igbrevnaya Yama, which is a fucking plank over a hole. You mean you crap out of a window? Yes.
That we have a lot in common with, whether you like it or not.
No, we don't. We have almost nothing in common with sort of the generalized Russian personality, the way the Russian country is run, their attitude towards the rest of the world, their philosophy, even the orthodoxy of their Christian church is militaristic.
Oh, he's bad. Okay, stop.
No, I won't stop. What are you, Erica Kirk now? Shut the fuck up. How about that? You say stop, I say shut the fuck up, and we'll settle on, we'll meet in the middle on you're a fucking dweeb.
We need Russia.
No, we don't. Well, I don't know. What the fuck? Like, we just had Matt Walsh telling us we need Greenland, and him tells us we need Russia. Do you guys just fucking hate America? Is your patriotism as small as your dick?
The only reason we are not in alliance with Russia is because
because they attack all of their neighbors, and their intention is to eventually take Europe, and they have been subverting us in the United States for decades. Why do you think they have their biggest embassy in the world in Mexico City to be close to the United States? Why do you think 8 out of 10 of the fake BLM accounts, the biggest accounts, BLM accounts on X that were causing, were calling for violence in the streets and all that kind of stuff, were run by Russian fucking hackers? Apartment 21, the Macedonian hacker group.
Policy establishment in the United States, the weapons manufacturers, and particularly the neocons believe that they somehow own Russia or want to retake Russia or something.
And we have no interest. What do you mean retake? No one's talking about invading Russia. Never have. This is also one of the weakest fucking defenses of this.
Putin is in the way. He kicked out the oligarchs.
No, he didn't. He pushed them out a fucking window and took their money to fight this war of choice in Ukraine. He invaded Ukraine, dumbass.
Gravely offensive to the American finance establishment and to the American foreign policy establishment, and acted on his own country's behalf. Whatever. None of that even matters at this point.
Because it didn't happen and it's not true.
Nor these people. He has to be our enemy? No. If Putin is our enemy, if Russia is our enemy, we cannot survive a global conflict.
Oh, no, they can't survive a global conflict. Asshole, they're not surviving one. They're not surviving a regional conflict. He wants us to be aligned with Russia because China's about to eat Russia. That's what this is about. China needs those resources. It imports most of its oil and gas and food. So it needs land and that area of Russia way more than Russia would have the ability to fight and take it back or retain it. He wants us to be friends with Russia because Russia is getting its dick handed to it.
Sorry. And if you think we can, tell us how. With the help of NATO, which, by the way, is now done.
No, it's not.
It was done.
No, it's not.
Once the United States takes Greenland, which is owned by a fellow NATO member, what will be the rationale for keeping NATO? The whole illusion has shattered in the past 4 days.
No, it hasn't. Donald Trump does not have the power to completely, unilaterally make alliances worthless. He can try and destroy them on behalf of Vladimir Putin, which he's trying to do, and you can back him up on this, but it does not take the inherent worth out of those things. You see, that's one of the problems that Russia has. It makes nothing. It contributes nothing. The only thing it has going for it is what's underneath it that it pulls up out of the ground and fucking sells. But guess what? If we take Greenland, the oil and gas around that part of the area, if it started flowing at the same level, Russia falls into disrepair instantly. I mean, they're the ones who are keeping the Venezuelan oil flow low intentionally by paying off Maduro and helping him, sell drugs to Europe.
None of this is real, and now everyone admits it's not real, so it's time to start thinking.
All right, nobody's admitting that. You're making that part of it up. That's also Russian propaganda. Now do the CSTO, the Russian version of NATO, where the former satellite states of Russia that Russia forced at the point of a barrel of a gun to join, or else. Whereas NATO, you join voluntarily. CSTO, it's you got a really nice country. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it.
About the next step. The third thing to remember is...
All right, so far, you've not given us anything to remember. These are strictly propaganda blurbs poured down your gullet by Sergei Lavrov.
That a functioning empire benefits from the empire.
Okay, so all right, we're just done with the right pretending that they were against the Iraq War. Now we're just throwing that out with everything, right? We don't have to pretend on their behalf that they were against us being involved in all these long wars and blah blah blah, and because what the forever wars, when people talk about that, besides the one which they mean the religious ones where they just wish they get out of the way, let Israel, wipe out the Palestinians and get it over with, pull the Band-Aid off. That's what they mean. Forever wars are religious until they are, there is one clear winner, namely wiping out Islam and a lot of their thinking. Until that happens, it'll just be back and forth. So just get it over with. Just let them die. If you're helping them stay alive, and kill them if you're not. That's what they're talking about. But empire and maintaining empire is the root of the longest lasting wars the world has ever seen.
Rome, at its height, was a gleaming, clean, prosperous city. Rome benefited. In the end, of course, it was destroyed by its empire.
Yeah, gee, I wonder what lesson Tuckums will take from this.
It was invaded by the people it had subdued.
Huh. You don't say.
That is ultimately the fate of all empires, all of them. London is filled with former colonial subjects. That's what that is. And that will happen to every empire. But in the meantime...
It's awesome. But before they turn on us, you know what I mean? Slavery. Woo!
The point is to help the seat of empire. And so if you...
What? I'm getting a brain cramp. Help the seat of empire? What the fuck is this? Is he always this nuts? I mean, I feel like he is, but I mean, I've never seen it like loose in the wild like this.
You can't fix Baltimore. You don't really have a shot of making Caracas functional. And so as you administer this empire, you need to remember the point of this is your own.
Oh, sorry. I think he's arguing just let Russia run Venezuela again. Is that what this is? Right? Is that, chat room, help me out here, because this is fucking weird. This is so fucking weird. It seems like that's make peace with Russia, give them back Venezuela. Whew. He said, Empire, I needed it. 588-2300. Bruce lose 13-18. All right.
Country. Making
hold on.
Your own country more prosperous, but also stable and cleaner and better for its own citizens. It can't just be, oh, Paul Singer gets rich, therefore it's a good thing. No. All Americans, not just Paul Singer, have to benefit from this. And they can, and they absolutely can. And the president, to his great credit, has made a huge effort to clean up American cities. Washington, D.C., for example.
Oh, dear God. But basically, what he means is the empire of America, he means the states need to break apart. So, all right, fuck Venezuela. I think he wants us to give back Alaska to Russia at this point.
People mocked him for sending the National Guard in. Washington is safer. It's just a fact. He did that. The last guy didn't do that.
It also didn't take the National Guard to do it at all.
Trump did that. Keep doing that. Remember.
Trump also said there are too many cops working in Washington, D.C.
Empire should be impressed.
Oh, Colin, I know Carlson's a fucking idiot, but I'm always fascinated, personally, by the shape, the variety of ways that idiocy can form itself, that it can, it's like a rat going through a piece of pipe. Like it can squeeze itself into it, and you've been told this, but watching it do it is impressive.
Not just its satellites or its colonies, but the mother country should be impressive. And ours can be. It is inherently. But the point of this is to help us.
All right. Just this at this point, this is just sentences in varying orders, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
And the last thing to remember about being...
were we supposed to remember the part we couldn't even comprehend? I'm not going to commit to gibberish to memory.
An empire is that it can corrupt you.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot that part.
And this is the fate, ultimately, of all empires. They are...
Really? So are you talking to Vladimir Putin right now and telling him basically that's a good reason to get the fuck out of Ukraine?
Corrupted by the imperial project.
Oh, and get out of Chechnya while you're at it. And fucking Georgia.
And they become coarser. As Rome grew, as its territory grew, so did the number of people dying in Circus Maximus. So that does happen over time. But
in the interim, There's that sweet, sweet empire juice.
Back against it. You want to retain the fundamental decency of your country even as you expand, as you take.
Sorry, is this his workaround attempt to now try to? Is this an audience of one talk to Trump about not invading Venezuela now?
Greenland, to take Venezuela, wherever else we're going. You need to remember.
Get over yourself. God damn.
We are decent people, and we're going to continue to live as though we are, with
even if it's not based in reality at all.
Dignity. You are not going to become hardened by,
like the Russians,
by the violence that you sometimes commit on other populations. And that is really difficult to maintain. And you see this even in Washington. You saw this, in fact, 5 years ago yesterday when Ashley Babbitt was shot in the chest for doing nothing, an unarmed.
She punched one of her fellow maggots in the face so she could be first through a broken window in a barricaded wall while there were members of Congress and their staffs still escaping, and an armed guard protecting those people while everybody on the other side was yelling, hang Mike Pence, hang Nancy Pelosi. This mob had threatened verbally everyone in there, including Ashley Babbitt herself in the car ride there. So yeah, no, she didn't do nothing. This is not a didn't do situation. She went through she saw the dude there with the gun. She chose to be first through the breach. She had a knife in her fucking bag to stab members of Congress.
Woman, an Air Force veteran, murdered. But
no, she wasn't murdered.
James Byrd in the Capitol building, and nothing happened.
No, they looked over the shooting as they always do. They weighed all the factors, including her involvement, oddly enough, and they found that it was a good shoot, and ultimately she was armed.
And the reason nothing happened, the reason the guy who shot Ashley Babbitt, who'd already been disciplined for leading a loaded handgun in the men's room, so he had a documented record of recklessness.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between leaving your gun behind and actively using it in a proper fashion.
There's no reason to kill her. She posed no conceivable threat to him.
Yes, she did. She was with a mob of people. She was the first person to breach through a broken window that she participated in the breaking of on a barricaded door, and he was employed to protect members of Congress and their staffs who were just down the hall. You could still fucking see them getting away, escaping from the mob that was threatening their lives.
But the reason that nothing ever happened
is because there was no need for anything to really happen in terms of, I don't know, him getting fined or sanctioned or censured in any way. But something did happen. There was a review of the shooting.
Is because there were almost no members of Congress who thought it was a big deal. Now, why is that?
Because she was there to kill them, and she didn't care if they were Democrats or Republicans, because maggots, by and large, have fealty to Donald Trump, and they don't give a rat's ass. And if a Republican had just gone, hey, wait a second, as she was rushing to stab AOC, she'd have stabbed him too. That's why it was kind of a bipartisan fuck her.
Why would members of Congress, 535 members of Congress, are they uniquely hard-hearted?
No, they're, in that situation, they were all collectively the same victim. Why do you think Josh Hawley was running like that?
Well, they are, actually. And why is that?
Because Donald Trump pardoned a bunch of people who showed up there to fucking kill them? Gee.
Because they spend a huge portion of their day, every single day,
legislating, sitting on committees, polishing chairs with their ass, raising money for re-election, talking to constituents, drafting bills or co-signing bills of their own, talking to their caucus, working back and forth on other stuff that's special to their state, trying to do resolutions on the floor that recognize people from the great state of wherever the fuck they're from.
Talking and thinking about killing people in other countries.
No, they don't. No, they really don't. Well, maybe they do lately because Donald Trump has decided to do it without asking them. And they're like, hang on, Swizzle Stick. The Constitution says you got to ask us because we got to ask our people back home.
And if you watch enough snuff videos of the U.S. military taking out this or that bad guy, after a while...
Sorry, when the military takes out a bad guy, according to Tucker Carlson, it's a snuff video.
It inures you.
No, it doesn't. It only does that if you're a second-generation rich kid who never really gave a fuck about other people to start with.
After a while, it's not such a big deal to kill somebody. And you can make...
Also, it's always a big deal to kill somebody. Ask any soldier who has to go through it, or any police officer.
Case for that, if there are foreigners who threaten you, you can never...
Or any civilian who's had to protect themselves, for example.
Make a case for the U.S. government casually killing Americans. All of us should be offended by that every single time, and we should push back against it. Hey, whoa, I'm not a Houthi. Don't treat me like one.
Sorry, but it's okay if we treat the Houthi that way, though, apparently.
I'm not a Venezuelan. Stop.
That's how you say it? How about, well, I was about to say, how about I'm a human being, but I can understand why you wouldn't go to that immediately.
Americans have to remember that the point of this exercise is to secure the homeland and everything good about it.
And then extend empire and enjoy it until blowback. And hopefully you're dead by then, I guess.
And one of the very best things about the United States is the regard that Americans have for human life and for dogs. There's a sweetness and a sentimentality to Americans that would be sad as hell if we lost. Don't allow the killing that takes place overseas to make you think it's okay for the U.S. government to treat you that way.
But it's okay. Sorry. But it's okay for Russia to do that to Ukrainians, though, because they've got it coming. That's what this is about. Like, sorry, why does my sympathy have to stop with my own people? I don't want my president acting in an extrajudicial way without the informed consent of Congress, not just because I enjoy the constitutional exercise, but because I want checks on that power so that I can guarantee that if there ever has to be killing, it's justified and valuable. In the same way that if you hear a noise in your house, and you have children and a spouse or a friend or a significant other or pets or whatever the fuck, you don't just get up out of bed and just fire blindly into the rest of the fucking house until you don't hear anything move anymore. What an asshole.
When we started this company, we promised that we would...
Who's we? It's the Tucker Carlson network. We. Shut the fuck up.
Only partner with other companies that share our values. We didn't want to...
Oh, so your Palantir is your new sponsor?
Advertise products made by people who hate us or...
Jesus Christ. So that's the Charity Mobile at the end of this. That's the entirety of that? Jesus Christ. Like, is he contractually obligated to do like a Putin suck-off video once a month and I just happened to stumble on it this time? Lord almighty. What's up, Itgeta? How you doing? Thanks for checking in. By the way, share the show, share the clips. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Next up, this is another slice of Tuckums from the Mike Cernovich visit that happened a couple days ago. This one, you're going to understand why I had to do this one, and you guys are going to not like it and shit, but you're going to see why I did it, because, well, hold on. I probably should... where is this? Yeah. Because, well, I don't know. We'll see what this is.
It's fun to be Let's party like we're moving Buns and dongs and best of thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Buns and dongs and best of thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Boink, boink, doobie-doo. You know what I wanna do. Yeah. Boink, boink, doobie-doo. You know what I wanna do.
Butt stuff. So, this is the opposite of that good old Johnny Cash spiritual. I saw the light. I saw the light. I saw the demon. Lord, I seen me a demon. He came down there and he fixing to. Sorry, this won't stay in my mouth. I don't know why I even tried that. He fixing to like give me the reach around, like like demons are wont to do. Demons are wont to do. All right. This one's titled "You See Demons?" Mike Cernovich on the spiritual encounter that changed his life. Both of these guys apparently had demon run-ins. Same truck stop bathroom.
And you see demons at one point?
Over and over again. Oh yeah, that was so you can see you can see demons. I remember being taunted. So that's what's
Sorry, I got a piece of bullshit caught in my throat.
weird about it is it's like scenes of a movie.
It's exactly like that, except it's called a hallucination.
With generally there's a catharsis. You don't know. That's why they just say before you go in, they go, the only way out's through. You're like, go fuck yourself. The only way out's through. What kind of shit is that? The only way out's through. What the fuck does that mean? You know?
It's something that I think it's actually a military term for, battle a lot of times because you're in that situation. The only way out is through is from that,
Again, that was my arrogance and my own delusion.
Yeah. Oh, but you ain't seen nothing yet.
And
that's true in life, though.
Yeah. And
his arrogance and delusion, I agree. That is true in life.
And you're like, what does that mean? Well, it means that no matter how bad it is, with the ayahuasca, I remember I would do mask, and then I would open up the mask and try to look around, and a demon, whatever it is, an entity, says, "Oh, you think you can open your eyes?" And it just showed me like the most fucked up things I'd ever seen. People being tortured to death, killed. Like
you mean all your Pornhub search results, just kind of
or like The Road. Have you ever seen the movie The Road?
No.
Like a cannibal, like a horror film, and then it said, "Oh, you think you can take your eye mask off?"
Yeah. Sounds like the guy running the ayahuasca group is kind of a dick.
You can't run. You're running from yourself.
You are a dickhead.
You're trying to run from yourself, and you can never run from yourself. I'm like, what am I running from? Then I'm like, what am I running from? What?
The fact that you have a torture fetish?
What do you mean because if you talk to me at that point in my life, you would be talking to a very you'd not be talking to this person. You would be talking to a person who's like, oh yeah, I got things figured out, man. Like, I got things figured out, and I can prove it. I grew up poor. I've had some things happen that haven't been so good in my life. I've had to navigate life with a bipolar mom. Da-da-da-da-da.
Jesus Christ. I feel like I'm watching an interview with Cece DeVille.
Like, I know life. You talk to me now, I'm like, I have ideas, things that I think are like the path forward, but that person was just shown you are, in the spirit realm, you are nothing. You are nothing, and you're so arrogant. You're out here. You're
just on this earth plane, you're just a side character. You're an under five in a crowd scene in a zombie film.
Like, you have no power. So it says you're running from yourself. And I was like, what am I running from? And it goes, all that success you chased and all the whatever it is I was trying to do, they go, that was just masking your heart, the trauma that you have. And
Jesus Christ, you needed ayahuasca for this? I gotta tell you, this sounds like a 99-cent self-help book on Amazon.
That everything you're doing is just to mask that. I'm like, well, that's bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. So it's like, okay, because
Tori Amos's God is in your head right now. I was just listening to it yesterday. God, sometimes you just don't come through. Do you need a woman to look after you? Oh my gosh, she's so sexy. It's stupid.
because you're, and by this I mean you're talking to a guy.
Fucking Tori Amos, man. God, like when the Crucify album came out, you want to talk about a goddamn crush? Hold on. Yeah. If you guys don't have the Crucify Little Earthquakes, that album, or when the Crucify video came out, let's see if here you go. Toripedia. What's this? There's literally I'm trying to find a still photo so that it doesn't trigger a video and cost me. Open image in a new tab. Blow this up. Hold on. Son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Give me a second. Oh, good Lord. There's a particular picture that I'm looking for. Here's the Under the Pink album cover will do just fine. Hold on. Go away. Open image in a new tab. There you go. This business right here. Dude. First of all, let's go here, ladies and gentlemen. And then her on Under the Pink. Like, god damn. Where's the other? Yeah, here she is. I've seen her multiple times. I'm not one of these people who's like seen hundreds, but like, I got to tell you, in 1992, this laid me flat. This woman laid me flat. I was she looks like Summer. Well, you could say I have a bit of a type. Summer's had red hair a couple times. But, oh yeah, These Precious Things. Holy shit. Let them bleed. Let them wash away. Oh, yes, Jane Child is going to be very jealous. That was earlier. I'll definitely has a type. Yes, I like them beautiful and talented. And sweet and sexy and smart. Did you ever meet Tori? No. Because I would be a fucking mess. Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah. Hal is smitten. Still to this day. When, I gotta be careful because I'll get myself. When my dad was dying, the song Winter, it would just randomly snow. Like my dad wanted to see all the weather before he died. So it snowed one day and then it was warm and then it was rainy and then there was thunder. As soon as he died, it thundered really huge and the rain started coming down, so much so that it was almost like too much, too on the nose. And I can't play Winter because I'll get a copyright strike. Listen to the song Winter and you'll know exactly why. And the piano playing on it is so fucking sweet. That's your bestie's favorite song? Yeah. Humans are never too old to fall in love. This is true. But yeah. I know Tori is 62. She's still beautiful, still talented. Just saying. But Winter, like, listen to the song Winter and you'll know what I mean. And then I have all of her, what are called like her condiment songs, Honey and Sugar. And those, I have a collection of her. At one point, you could only get her B-sides from England. And so I like collected those, like crazy. So nothing wrong with 60-year-old plus women. I completely agree. Yeah. Hall passes are allowed. Yeah, I guess technically she would be my hall pass in that regard. That image is not her at 62. That's she was older than me at the time. That makes sense too. I liked older women a whole time. A hal pass. There you go. You can call it that if you want to. Yeah. When you gonna make up your mind? When you gonna love you as much as I do? That fucking line. When you gonna love you as much as I do? Boy, fuck. She did start RAINN, the Rape and Incest National Network. And I mean, that comes from the money that Me and a Gun effectively made, I think, and the movement that it started. Yeah, it's just, yeah. And part of why I loved her story was that she'd gotten a record deal and to be kind of like a standard pop musician, and she just couldn't go through with it. And they eventually cut her, and she lost everything, and she was basically on the floor of her apartment and couldn't do anything, and then just sat up and started writing the album that would become Little Earthquakes. So, yeah. Debbie Harry, sure. She was mine, all mine. Okay. And things are gonna change so fast. All the white horses have gone ahead. You tell me that I'll always want you near. You say that things change, my dear. That fucking line. God damn. I tell you that I'll always want you near. You say things change, my dear. Whew. Just right there. Yeah, her band was Why Can't Tori Read? That's right. And it was good. Like, I've heard the demos or whatever, the unreleased album or whatever that they had. But I think she is the root of the grunge movement, really. I think she triggered the move towards real lyrics and real emotion. You smell a jam all night of Tori Amos songs sung by Hal. Yeah. What is your thoughts on her vocal sounds? They're stupidly sexy and penetrating and sorrowful, and don't get me started on Song for Eric, like I said. Yes, she was a muse for so many. Trent Reznor apparently would call her all the time, and when he was about to jump off a fucking ledge or something. Silent all these years go by and I'll still be waiting. But yeah, for somebody else to understand. That's really high. That's high for me to fake sing. I can sing it in my real voice, but then we get really loud, and then that's what the night becomes. Yeah, Tori Amos songs by Nerd Halen. Yeah, yeah. How do I handle heartbreak? I feel it. I own it. I live with it. I have it inform myself, and I, in some cases, turn it into art. She Waits on my album is a great example. Yeah, there you go. Somebody made a lyric video of this? Wait.
Told her all I'll ever want and all I'll ever need is just enough to make me leave. I can't tell when the magic fades and there's nothing up my
This is me, just in case you don't know. Yeah, so that's me. By the way, I'm very proud of this, the second verse particularly. This is, tell her that I've been in love, but I've never had a friend. I'm always starting at the end. Yeah.
Tell her that I've been in love, but I've never had a friend. I'm always starting at the end. Better that I leave this place than break apart a home. How much can I hurt if I'm on my own? She waits, and I pretend that I'm not coming back. She waits.
This is how I handle heartbreak.
Back home again. She waits. I never thought she would. She waits.
And this is a solo with a broken finger.
She waits, and I pretend that I'm not coming back. She waits.
The song's called She Waits.
To find my way back home again. She waits. I never thought she would. She waits. For good.
Yeah, it's the one on the album. We brought in a 7-piece string section to do this. Yeah, it's me singing and playing guitar. And bass, actually, on a good portion of it. So yeah, so that's how I deal with RDLS pipes. I have much better pipes now too, which is interesting because singing that was so much work back then. It was painful. It wiped me out. And now I'm in a much better space vocally, which is nice. Yeah. You'll buy the album, right? Where? Oh, it's zero. Oh, let's see. I should be able to. It's on iTunes and all that kind of stuff. It's just 01 featuring Hal Sparks, so that it's the word 0 and the number 1. It should still be there. I still have my, it's still for sale everywhere. Yeah. There you go. There it is. Dink. Yeah, it's you have to click here. There's like a album number, like share the album. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll share it. Whoops. Here you go. Whoops. Share. I can do this. Copy a link, and I'll put it in the Restream chat room, I guess. That'd be the easy way to do it. Yeah. So there you go. That's yeah. It's interesting because it's like some people, you like Steel String and Bone? Yeah, that's the acoustic version of stuff. Of stuff from that record. And the only thing I would redo on that album is Chosen One, because I was talked into doing it double time, and I have a slower version of it that works for me. So I may release the original at some point. So I want to know all your latest hits featuring dumb, dumb, stupid gay. Yes, okay, I will. Yeah. Thank you. You can tell this has some personal meaning. Yeah, absolutely. You know, my buddy Tom wrote the chord progression on it. And yes, the album's hard rock. There's there's a couple of softer songs on there. That one and Indian Summer, which is a true story as well. Not about summer, by the way. It's about a girl that I was an acquaintance of mine at New Trier who died in a drunk driving accident, and I was always kind of bothered by the fact that if I'd have been better friends with her, I would have known she was there and drinking, and she was a friend of mine. She would have always had a ride home, and so I felt kind of guilt about that. It just taught me a lesson about reaching out to people, that if you ever encounter somebody and you're like, I want to be friends with that person, I want to talk to that person, that when you hold back, you're not just, limiting your own life, but you could very well miss the moment that you could help theirs. Yeah. Toriumus has a home studio. You should give yourself a birthday present and book some time there. I think that's a brilliant idea. Once I learn to play piano. I do have a piano song that I've been working on for quite some time. A. O'Connor. Yep. Yeah, that's rough. It still bugs me. It's yet another reason number 7,509 why I don't drink. But yeah. So like you can't save everyone. I know that. Doesn't make me feel any better. She's a big reason why you started to learn piano. That's what a muse is. That's what inspiration is. So past the mission, behind the prison tower, past the mission, I once knew a hot girl. Is it My Dream On? Yes, probably. Yeah. I like when the show derails into this after listening to some of these dipshits that we have to deal with on a regular basis. And I'm almost at the end of the show. It's funny that we get on these tangents, and it's like people are trash. Don't need to deny it with guilt. I don't know what that means. People are not trash. People are lovely. Yeah. What's it going to take until my baby's all right? Yeah, like, oh, God, lines like that. Holy shit. And, I think I had a tendency too early on to have, people will call it like white knight syndrome with men, but I would view it as like fix-its. I always struggled with, I always struggled with trying to make someone feel loved. That I was like, that it always bothered me that I couldn't, when you gonna love you as much as I do? That's why that line just was devastating. Also, by the way, there's a single called Strange that's also available on Apple as well, which I'm very happy with. I wrote that song in one night. That's the opposite end of the love and sex spectrum. I love that Ask Me Anything with I'll have to just BS too. It's cool. Well, thanks, Wes. Lately, especially considering how raw I've been, the idea of doing an Ask Me Anything or something is a much more tender subject. I wouldn't say it's scary because I'm not afraid to feel what I feel and go through what I'm going through. But I also feel that I shouldn't belabor my emotions. That I have to have respect for my the reality of my emotions, and not create a situation where I'm just pitying myself. You ever do Christian rock metal? I'm a huge Striper fan. Yeah. And I used to listen to David Meese when I was a kid, because I was born again when I was 11. So I went to church camp, and I went to they had Christian youth conference things that I went to one in Lexington. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't hold back those emotions or feel like I don't want to share them or whatever. I don't worry about it or whatever. But I also don't want to belabor them or milk them inappropriately. And I suppose there's a little bit of professional courtesy in that as an actor, I'm very aware that an emotion can get worn thin, and that were I ever to because I think using a real emotion when you're acting is a treasure that you have, but it's like a candle. Once it burns, it's gone, and if you go to the well one too many times, it won't work anymore. And so you have to hold your real emotions, your sorrow, your anger. You have to hold them precious as an actor, so that you just don't let them flow away. Brainwashing camp? I don't think so, unless you mean that I have decent Christian values towards my fellow man. Love thy enemy, love thy neighbor, treat everyone with kindness. That kind of stuff, and why I use humor as my main tool of criticism and work, because it is the least permanently harmful, and the other person can write their situation much easier from mockery than harsh and brutal criticism. Christian camp as teen is a wild times. Oh, believe me, I had a joke in my act about thank God for Christian summer camp, where I had never learned how to finger bang properly. That was one of my first post high school stand up jokes, bits about that. So when I there was a scene where we went to the it was Brian's father's funeral in Queer as Folk, when Brian's father died. And I had to cry, because the idea was that Brian won't cry because he hates his father. And then when he panned over to me, I'm a fucking mess. And no matter how many times we did the shot, I had to be weeping for real, in contrast to how little emotion Gail would show as the character in that moment. And I had to find different ways of getting myself there, so that I wouldn't wear something thin. And one of them was right before I got Talk Soup, I broke up with my girlfriend, because the girl I was dating at the time, because she sat me down and had the it's time to give up talk. That she was wanting me to kind of settle down and stop trying to act and do stand up and all that kind of stuff. It was time to, not do it. And I guess marry her and have kids and do something normal, get a real job, whatever it was. And I broke up with her because that's ridiculous. And no. And then a year later, I got less than probably 5 months later, I got Talk Soup. And then right after I finished Talk Soup, I got Dude, Where's My Car and Queer as Folk at the same time. And she reached out to me again. And I was it really hurt, because I was really in love with her. And I was sort of bitter about it, but I also didn't want to hold it against her because she couldn't see the future the way I did. I only know what I wanted for myself and how important it was to me. I can't expect anybody to. No, but you can never expect anybody to share your dream the way, in a way that where they can recognize it in any real way. They can play along, but they don't know it the way you know it. And in that scene, if you ever watch Queer as Folk and you watch the scene where I'm crying in the graveyard, I was not crying about someone. Normally I would, you'd focus on who could possibly be in this coffin that I care about, that kind of stuff, and you move there. I didn't. I pictured her standing in the graveyard, like, it seemed like 100 yards away up on this little hill. I could see through the crowd this kind of blank space. And I would just see her standing there like I was saying goodbye. And that was it. That did it, man. And I was not expecting it to work as well as it did. And it just fucking tore me up. So now you know a little inside baseball if you ever watched that scene. That's what I used. And the song I use the most, and I have to be very careful with that song. I can't listen to it when I'm not working, even as much as I love it. Is Sometimes It Snows in April. If you know that song, it's from the Under the Cherry Moon soundtrack, and that song in particular, that song, yeah, it's that one, like, and it's so, like, it's one of those songs. It's very, very seldom, like, there's a lot of heartbreak songs. Sometimes there's songs about a lost father or mother. But there's really very few songs about the loss of a friend on that level. You know what I mean? There are more songs, I think, about strangers that died that you miss, like the fucking Gambler, right? For you, it's La Bamba, right? Are we on Prince now? We're always on Prince a little bit. Come on. I mean, it's always right here. It's always right here. We all have our touchstones. I understand. I love the song The Pretender, but can barely listen to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of Tory songs that when winter would not get out of my head when I was in Kentucky with my dad, I like dusted off my old Tory CDs because some of them, like some of the songs aren't available. I couldn't find them anywhere because they were B-sides and that kind of stuff. She probably has a best of B-side. She's got a B-sides album on iTunes, but I don't know that they're all on there. And so I even got myself a little like CD player again, just so I could listen to them while I'm working. And it's not good. It's not a good idea. It's a terrible idea because you ever try to solder when you're crying? It's just, yeah. I'll Stand By You, Pretenders is a great song. Yep. All the Joy Division songs are about giving up. Joy Division, they're like Spandau Ballet in that where they got their name is fucked up. The Joy Division was the name of like Jewish comfort girls that had to service the Nazis. They were called the Joy Division, and the Spandau Ballet was from one of the early concentration camps. They hung them before they had the furnaces all set up or whatever, and the people in town would go out and watch the Spandau Ballet, which was the pit twitching bodies while they were hung. I was like, man, that's fucking hardcore. Like, The names of those bands are like the darkest shit ever. I can see November Rain getting you, yeah. Oh, thanks, Colin. Don't be nice to me right now. I'm on the edge. Yeah, I like Wish You Were Here too, but I gotta say because of Ken Polk, the guy I told you about, and the song "Comfortably Numb." I don't know. I think I mentioned it or whatever, but Ken Polk is the reason I say fuck the Groundlings and their bullshit, because they basically destroyed Ken. Ken Polk was the only non-original member of the Carol Burnett show that was in the reunion. Thank you, Smarty Pants. You know how it works. Tears in Heaven. Fuck that song. I hate that song. It makes me so mad. Profiting off of the death of his own son, like when it was just ignored and the kid just wandered out a window. Jesus Christ, all I can picture is the opening of the movie Antichrist. Ugh. Whew. Yeah. That kid didn't die of cancer. Nobody was watching and he walked out a fucking window. Ugh. That just makes me angry. Have you guys ever seen the movie Antichrist? Willem Dafoe. It's a Lars von Trier movie. It's messed up. So it's one of my favorite horror films. The opening, like 6 minutes, is all like bullet time slow motion, and it's brutal. Forever Young. Mm-hmm. You missed that one? You loved Willem Dafoe? It's a fucked up movie. Lars von Trier's a wreck. Lars von Trier film and it's messed up. Doesn't narrow it down. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. You don't watch any horror? I'm a big fan of horror. I think it serves a very valuable. It tempers your nervous system in case there's a real emergency. It gets all your early like jump scares. Great way to train your nervous system to not jump. Carpenter's fun horror. Yeah. Hitchcock's more thriller. Yeah. Oh, Crazy Insane Alien, you're a horror fan? Martyrs. Antichrist. I really liked Weapons, the new one, but it wasn't. It was okay, but I enjoyed it a bit. It was. Yeah, Silent Lucidity is lovely. I sang Silent Lucidity on the radio with Queensryche. I've done some fun shit because my life is dope and I do dope shit. And Audition, Crazy Insane Alien. Audition, the Japanese horror film. Holy shit. Good Lord. Yeah, James Taylor. Fire and Rain. You want to talk about a song that has always wrecked me. Like the first time I heard it, I was too young to even understand that like depth of sorrow. And I still heard it and I was like, ugh. And then, oh, shit. Susan, the plans we made put an end to you. My Aunt Susan died when I was 16. And then it really... Whew. Your sad song, I'll Be Home for Christmas. Aw. The Fury. The Japanese can do horror. Yeah. Well, yeah. Imaginary and in real life. I gotta say, I love Maddow's podcast on the internment camps, but the problem is that they seem to be, people think it happened in a vacuum. Like, watch, it's interesting, like, go read about the rape of Nanking, and then understand the timing. The miracle of this whole thing is not that we had internment camps and then we stopped. It's that we're friends with Japan now, and Japan is the country that it is. Holy shit. You want to talk about a turnaround, a miraculous change in a country. Yes, and I always thought that I would see you one more time again. Also, Sam Bush's version of Girl from the North Country. Stab! 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 Check out Pueblo country band Crossfire. Okay. Sorry, which character would you be? Hold on. What character? Retype that. Yeah, Sam Bush is awesome. I told you, the other thing that, like, when Sam Bush came to the house to say bye to my dad, and my dad wanted to stand up to hug him, it was hard, but he wanted to. I love Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, but those are straight up comedies as far as I'm concerned. It's kind of like Man Bites Dog. Have you ever seen that one? It's a terrible, it's like a horrifying movie, but as far as the content, but it's actually shockingly funny. Thanks, it's Crazy Insane Alien. Yeah, I was never a Cat Stevens fan, especially after he called for the death of Salman Rushdie. I'm not crying, you're crying. It's getting dusty in here. Yeah. Yeah, comedy horror is great because it's that tension and the break. Like, and when it breaks, I mean, like the scene where they come to when the last time they go to the quarry in Man Bites Dog, holy shit. And then they cut to the next cut is so well done. It's so funny. Harold and Maude, that's, talk about heartbreaking shit. Live. Live. Yeah. Mystery Science Theater 3000. Yeah, I appreciate them. One by Metallica. It lets itself off the hook by getting heavy during the final exasperation, but it's still darkly sad. Ruth Gordon was more than amazing. Give me back my Oreos, you hairy ass! Outsmarted by a banana head. You don't care if I go hungry. You don't care if I freeze to death if an old lady has to wash her teeth in Clorox. Rest in peace, your dad, too. Gen X George. What is a character that you feel you'd be a better actor? Oh, shit. Well, I mean, that's kind of a dick move. Well, I mean, I think it depends on your attitude about a performance. There are a bunch of roles where I was like, I should have gotten it, and the world would have been better without Danny Masterson in another role or some of those folks. You know what I mean? I don't think I was considered for those things, but if I had been, or I'd been in the room, it would have been a better choice. Ask Bruce Campbell about when they prank called Larry Fine at the nursing home. Oh, you ever hear Dana Gould's story about visiting him at the old folks' home? Jesus Christ, it's 4:30. The boo hiss was misinterpreted. Oh yeah, no. People need to know that when I'm close to crying or I'm upset or whatever, the worst thing that you can do is be nice to me because it makes me feel loved and therefore I cry. So I intentionally ask people to boo and hiss to help me get over the hump. Anytime I'm having a rough show because I've had something bad happen early in the day, I will I'm not having the bad show yet, but I'm worried about the show at all because I come out. Thank you, Ben. Ben gets it. I will come out and tell the audience to boo me straight out of the gate. Can you do your Hank Hill impression? It cracks me up. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Now that I show up, everybody's yelling obscenities at me. Are you the boys that painted my cat's butt? No. That was some other kids. Yeah. Real men do cry, dude. Real men do cry. That's a bummer, man. That's a bummer. Bet you Donald Trump has never cried. Yeah. Not straight. He's going to. He's going to. I don't know any Leonard Cohen songs enough to sing them. I don't think. Yeah, My Bobcat is Best. It's pretty good, yes. Are you the boys that have been... You made me cry, now make me laugh, damn it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying the best I can, dumbass. I made my Hank Hill say butthead lines. I'm sorry. Trump cried at his diaper. I don't think so. I think he cried laughing at somebody having to hose him down. When he's sitting in jail, I don't think so. I think when it's all slipping away. That's the only time. You don't get to skip all these emotions. They just get to all come at once. Whining is not crying. I agree. It is not. It's sort of the opposite. It's like you're trying to fend off crying. Sing Tears in Heaven as Bobcat. I would not sully my Bobcat impersonation. You don't think he knows how to cry? No, you don't need to know how to cry. It'll happen. It won't be for some beautiful reason. It'll be for something pathetic. You know. Do some people never cry? Yeah, sociopaths, psychopaths. I mean, they could fake it, but that's not really crying. It's kind of like when robots dance. You know what I mean? When people are like, these robots are dancing. They're not dancing. They're doing a pre-programmed movement that you interpret as dancing, but is not dancing. Dancing is the physical and spiritual interpretation of music through your body as you do it. It's not just the movements. Werewolf by Night was really good, and his name was Jack Russell. At one point, the one meeting I had with Avi at Marvel years ago was, they were like, any interest in Werewolf by Night? And I wanted to do Moon Knight, and then they fucked it up. But there's still a chance. There's still a chance. I would have liked to do Moon Knight. Yeah. So, there's not enough moisture in Dumpy Don to produce tears? Oh, yeah, there is. He's retaining water. For sure. You rarely cried growing up, so the few times you did, it would freak my mother out big time. I used to have a joke in my act about how, like, men save up for one big cry, women do it a little bit at a time. And when a cry gets going on if you as a man, you're just like, all right, we're getting our cry done for the next 5 years. So what else have I got to cry about? You start listening to old sad songs. You start putting on like movies that make you cry. And then in the middle of one of these episodes where I was doing this, there was a ring at the door and it was the FedEx guy, and I had to sign for it. whatever was coming, and I was like, I don't want to open the door. I'm just sobbing, just a mess. And I was like, I'll just pretend it's the kidney I've been waiting for. So it worked, yeah. Go straight from his tear ducts to his ankles. Right. Well, it's not coming out there. That's right. I take that back. Older Moon Knight Marvel always wants a younger version. That's right. It's all in his cank. His tears in his cankles. Yes, it was the kidney, after all. Should you expect your presence just for laughs in Montreal this year, Hal? I would love that, but I currently don't have a stand-up agent, and but I'm remedying that too. I finally got a theatrical agent, but I've done, and then right when I sign with them, I got to go spend time with my dad, and then I'm going through the other thing with another beloved, and that will be remedied soon, which is good, but will take my attention. I'm not going to go off and film something and do a series in Canada anytime soon, which it seems to be the ask every time. Can we shoot something here? Is it too much to ask? I'm going to have to create something. Yes, it does. Hold on. That's what I told the guy at the FedEx guy.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So, has Nerd Halen ever done a rendition of Beth? No, Beth is a Kiss song. Halen, What We Do in the Shadows, Season 7? I'm game. I'd love to be on Resident Alien if they do another season. They're probably not going to, but I hope. I mean, they seem to tease one, so maybe. So if anybody knows those folks, pass it on. If you and Alan Tudyk in the same room, he's a lovely dude. I met him once before, and I think because of Queer as Folk, it was some overlapping thing. I forget. He's a lovely human being. Yeah, he's a good soul. Ain't nothing wrong with that boy. He's all right. He's good people. You're scared of me now. There's like one line of his off of the thing where he's like, "Why can't I just kill you?" And he's there to kill Asta so that he doesn't have to worry about her anymore. If I killed you, it would be, your murder would be painless. And she goes, "Thanks." And he goes, "But I'll always have to stop because of you. Why can't I just kill you?" And she's like, "Oh, Harry." And he's like, "You're scared of me now." That line, that's become like one of the catchphrases with me and my cousin. "You're scared of me now." Alan Tudyk has played 2 great robot characters. 3 maybe, I guess, because if you include the... Because he was in iRobot, right? He was also the robot in The Mandalorian, but he was also number 4/Greg in the new Superman movie, right? He's putting all of those other robot voice actors out of business. Oh, thank you, Pam, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Peace, love, and wisdom to you, too. This is some bullshit. Well, that's where that came from, folks. And what a great note to end on. I'll leave you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Friday Eye. And then after that, I'm going to race off for the last day of CES, and it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be fun. I'm going to see if Rob Glenn gives me any marching orders. Please consider coming here in Canada. Oh, I will. I'll end up in Canada again at some point. I love the place. I need to see more of Vancouver. I have a relative who lives up there now, and some other places. Toronto still has got a lot of scars for me. I love the place, and I have no regrets about my time there at all. But like the emotional stuff I went through doing the show, my this girl Stephanie's death still kind of makes me really sad. I used to date someone named Stephanie, and she passed away a couple of years ago. I hadn't talked to her in a couple of years, but yeah, still there, and it just a lot of lovely and a lot of hurt. Yeah, this I'm wearing my Hallex shirt, right? Well spotted. All right, I gotta get out of here for you. You guys are gonna make me a puddle. Aw, thanks, 56 Nick Rich. I love Toronto. I really, really do. Sweet. And you guys are awesome. Love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. This goes out to Alan Tudyk and everybody in the cast of Resident Alien and the people that they've lost, because a couple of their episodes have been dedicated to people, and that's a sweet group of humans working on that show. I'm just saying. All right. See you tomorrow.
The screen glows bright with a crooked smile. Words spill out. All venom, no style. Promises made, they rot in the air. A handshake, a lie, a blank, cold stare. Puppets dance, the strings are tight.
We'll raid Liberal Dan, too.
This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it. Say it loud. We won't quit. This is some bullshit. Paper thin truths that crumble like ash. Golden thrones built on stolen cash. We raise our fists, we break the mold. Your house of cards is getting old. Static hums, the wires ignite. Truth's a bomb, we're ready to fight. This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it. Say it loud. We won't quit.
Believe and enable them to continue doing